You hear that? That scream? That power? That's not just music. That's a revolution with a rhythm. That's James Brown, the man who made the world scream, dance, and believe in the power of soul. Today, we're not just talking about a musician. We're talking about a force of nature, the Godfather of Soul. Welcome to this tribute to a man who changed music forever. Hey everyone! You've just stepped into Trending Moment Now, where legends never die. They just keep grooving in our hearts. Today's legend? The one and only James Brown. If you've ever danced to a funky beat, if you've ever felt unstoppable because a song said, "Get up off that thing," then this episode is for you. But before we dive in, do me a favor. Tap that like button like James Brown, tapping those high notes, quick and full of soul. Share this video with your funky crew. Drop a comment about your favorite James Brown moment. And if you're new, smash that subscribe button because, trust me, you're about to join the ultimate soul celebration. Ready? Let's hit it! May 3rd, 1933. Barnwell, South Carolina. James Joseph Brown entered the world with nothing but grit in his soul. Born during the Great Depression, in a tiny wooden shack, life didn't hand him a silver spoon. It barely handed him a plate. His family was dirt poor, living in the harsh realities of the rural South. His mother left when he was young, and his father worked at the turpentine plant, a grueling, dangerous job. Young James was often left to fend for himself, navigating a world that offered little comfort or opportunity. He knew hunger, hardship, and the sting of poverty from his earliest days. He shined shoes for pennies, a young entrepreneur on the dusty streets of Augusta, Georgia, where he moved as a child. He danced on street corners for nickels, captivating passers-by with his raw, untamed energy. He even boxed, learning to fight for every inch in a world that gave nothing freely. Poverty was so severe that he wore clothes sewn from potato sacks, a stark reminder of his humble origins. Yet, within this challenging environment, a fire ignited inside him, a relentless drive that no hardship could extinguish. This early struggle forged the unyielding spirit that would define his entire career. As rough as life was, that's where James learned hustle. That's where he learned rhythm, finding solace and expression in the vibrant sounds of the church. When the church was often the only entertainment, James Brown sang and danced like his soul depended on it. And maybe it did, for it was there he first felt the power of performance. Teenage James Brown wasn't an angel, oh no. At just 16, he got caught stealing suits from cars and ended up in jail for almost 4 years. This wasn't just a minor misstep, it was a significant turning point that could have derailed his life entirely. Yet, fate had a different plan for him. Here's the twist. If James Brown didn't go to jail, music might have never gotten its godfather. Behind those bars, he found gospel music, its raw emotion resonating deeply within him. He met Bobby Bird, a fellow inmate and talented musician who would become a lifelong friend and crucial member of his band. Most importantly, in that confined space, he found his voice, both literally and figuratively. The discipline of prison life, combined with the spiritual awakening of gospel, refined his focus. From prison rags to musical riches, that's James Brown's story, a testament to redemption and the power of second chances. Fast forward to 1956. James Brown drops Please, Please, Please. And people, let me tell you, that wasn't just a song, it was an emotional earthquake. Recorded with the famous Flames, this track captured a raw, almost desperate energy that was unlike anything else on the airwaves. James didn't just sing, he begged, pouring every ounce of his being into each syllable. He fell on his knees, a dramatic gesture that would become his signature. He sweated buckets on stage, his passion palpable, his performance a visceral experience for the audience. Audiences? They lost their minds. Women fainted, men cheered. James Brown wasn't performing. He was preaching the gospel of soul, converting listeners with his electrifying delivery. The song's repetitive, pleading lyrics, combined with his guttural screams, created an irresistible emotional pull. That track sold over 1 million copies and put James on the map, a remarkable feat for an independent artist. But guess what? Critics hated it. They said he was too raw, too wild, too unrefined. They found his emotional intensity overwhelming, dismissing it as mere showmanship. They called it primitive, lacking sophistication. But the people loved it. They felt the authenticity, the pain, and the passion in his voice. And that's what mattered, proving that true artistry often defies conventional expectations and resonates directly with the human spirit. James Brown earned the nickname Mr. Dynamite for a reason. His shows were explosive. He gave 110% every single night, demanding the same perfection from his band. His legendary fine system meant musicians were fined for missed notes, wrong steps, or even looking at the audience the wrong way. This relentless pursuit of perfection created a tight, disciplined unit that delivered unparalleled performances. The spins, the splits, the mic stand tricks, the intricate choreography, every element was meticulously rehearsed and executed with military precision. His stage presence was a masterclass in control and raw energy. Oh yes, the legendary cape routine. James would fall on his knees, seemingly exhausted, his body racked with emotion, like he was done for. His assistant, Danny Ray, would dramatically drape a cape over him, as if to say, "It's over, folks. The show is done." The audience would sigh, believing the performance had reached its end. And then, bam! He'd throw the cape off, jump back up, and scream, "I feel good!" The crowd would erupt, swept up in the sheer theatricality and resilience of the moment. That was drama before Netflix even existed, a spectacle that cemented his status as the hardest-working man in show business. This iconic routine wasn't just a gimmick, it was a metaphor for his life, constantly battling, falling, and rising again, stronger than before. It showcased his indomitable spirit and his unwavering commitment to giving his audience everything he had, every single time. 1965. James Brown changes music forever with Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. This wasn't just another hit, it was a seismic shift in musical paradigm. He stripped music down to its rawest form, groove, rhythm, and the undeniable power of the beat. The emphasis was on the one, that downbeat hit that gave funk its heartbeat, its undeniable pulse. Before James, music was often about melody and harmony. With James, it became about rhythm first, creating a hypnotic, interlocking groove that compelled movement. Suddenly, music wasn't just something you listened to, it was motion, a physical force that took control of your whole body. The instruments became percussive elements, each playing a distinct, syncopated part that locked together to form an irresistible rhythmic tapestry. James didn't just create funk, he created a movement, a new language of sound. No James Brown, no funk. And without funk, there's no hip-hop, no disco, no modern pop the way we know it. His innovations laid the groundwork for countless genres, proving his genius extended far beyond mere performance. Songs like Cold Sweat, Mother Popcorn, and Sex Machine further solidified this new sound. He pioneered the use of extended vamps, where the groove would just build and build, creating an almost trance-like state for the dancers. This was revolutionary, shifting the focus from song structure to pure, unadulterated rhythm. America is in turmoil. The civil rights movement is at its peak, racial tensions are everywhere, and the nation is grappling with profound social unrest. In this charged atmosphere, James Brown stepped up with a song that wasn't just music. It was a powerful, defiant statement. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. This anthem resonated deeply within the Black community, providing a much-needed voice of empowerment and self-affirmation. It was a rallying cry, a declaration of dignity and pride in the face of systemic oppression. That song became an anthem for empowerment, a soundtrack to a generation finding its voice. Kids chanted it in schoolyards, marches played it on loudspeakers, and families sang it in their homes. It gave a voice to millions, inspiring a sense of unity and self-worth. That's what made James Brown more than a singer. He was a leader, a cultural icon who used his platform to advocate for social justice. He understood the power of music to uplift, to inspire, and to ignite change, making him a true champion of his people. He wasn't just singing about being proud. He was actively involved in community initiatives, promoting education and self-help. He used his influence to bridge divides, even performing for President Nixon, believing in the power of dialogue, however controversial. Let's play a game. Who stole from James Brown? The answer is simple: everyone. His influence is so pervasive, so deeply embedded in the fabric of modern music that it's almost impossible to find a genre untouched by his genius. He is the ultimate musical ancestor. Michael Jackson? He studied James's every move, from the spins and glides to the raw vocalizations. MJ openly acknowledged James Brown as his idol, meticulously dissecting his performances to perfect his own iconic stage presence. The king of pop stood on the shoulders of the Godfather. Prince? Funk royalty, a multi-instrumentalist genius who built his empire on the foundations of funk and soul. But James was the king, the original architect of the sound that Prince so brilliantly evolved. Prince's tight grooves and electrifying stage shows owe an undeniable debt to Brown. Bruno Mars? He's James Brown's musical grandson, channeling the showmanship, the vocal prowess, and the undeniable swagger of the Godfather. Mars's retro funk sound is a direct homage, proving that Brown's influence transcends generations and continues to inspire new artists. Hip-hop? Forget it. Half of early rap was built on James Brown samples. His drum breaks, bass lines, and horn stabs became the foundational building blocks for countless tracks. Artists like Public Enemy, Run DMC, and NWA extensively sampled his work, recognizing the inherent power in his grooves. That beat, that groove, it's in everything. From disco's four-on-the-floor rhythms to the intricate polyrhythms of modern R&B, James Brown's DNA is everywhere. He didn't just create a genre, he created a blueprint for rhythmic innovation that continues to shape popular music worldwide. James Brown wasn't perfect. He had his struggles, his demons, and his very public flaws. He faced scandals, multiple arrests, and messy relationships that often played out in the tabloids. His personal life was as complex and tumultuous as his music was electrifying. He was known for his demanding nature, his strict control over his band, and his sometimes volatile temper. These aspects of his personality often led to friction and controversy, painting a picture of a man driven by an almost obsessive need for control and perfection. But that's the paradox of greatness. Flawed humans making flawless art. His imperfections, in a strange way, made him more human, more relatable. He showed us that you can come from nothing, endure immense hardship, and still change everything. His journey was a testament to resilience, ambition, and raw talent. And isn't that the ultimate American dream? To rise from the depths of poverty, to overcome adversity, and to leave an indelible mark on the world. James Brown's life was a powerful narrative of struggle, triumph, and the enduring power of the human spirit. He was a complex, contradictory, yet undeniably brilliant figure. Beyond the music, James Brown was a shrewd and relentless businessman. He owned his own publishing, his own radio stations, and even his own private jet. He was fiercely independent, fighting tooth and nail for control over his masters and his artistic vision. He understood the value of his intellectual property long before many of his peers. This business acumen, born from his early struggles, allowed him to build an empire that extended far beyond the stage. He was a pioneer in artist self-ownership, setting a precedent for future generations. His discipline extended to his finances, often carrying large sums of cash and managing his affairs with a hands-on approach. He was a self-made man in every sense of the word, proving that his hustle wasn't just for the stage, but for every aspect of his life. December 25th, 2006, Christmas Day. James Brown leaves this world at 73. It was a sad day for music lovers worldwide, a moment of profound loss for the global community. Yet, there was also something poetic about his departure on a day of celebration and giving. James Brown was the gift that never stopped giving. His music a timeless present to humanity. His voice, his moves, his unparalleled influence, they're all still here, echoing through every beat, every groove, every soulful vocal. His spirit lives on in the music he created. Every time you dance to something funky, every time a beat makes your body move involuntarily, that's James Brown whispering, "Get on up!" His legacy is not just in the records he sold, but in the joy he brought, the movements he inspired, and the cultural landscape he irrevocably shaped. He was the architect of funk, the godfather of soul, and an undeniable force of nature. His impact is immeasurable, his artistry eternal. We celebrate his life, his struggles, and his triumphs, honoring the man who taught the world to feel good. If this tribute made you dance in your seat, if it made you feel the power of the one and only James Brown, then do the James Brown move and tap that like button, because that little click tells YouTube, hit it! Share this video with your soul crew, your history buff friends, and every music lover you know. Drop a comment below and tell us, what's your favorite James Brown song? What's the first memory you have of hearing his music? And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and join the funk family here on Trending Moment Now. Because legends like James Brown, they don't die. They just keep the groove going forever, inspiring us all to get on up and feel good.